What's up, y'all? So this week I'm out of town, not an unusual place as you can see. Down in Florida, doing a little vacation. It's good to get away every once in a while. Just want to tell you that because when I was younger, I may not have thought getting away was important, but it really is. I'm not even here for myself, really. I'm here for my wife, something that she's doing down here, but we're having a good time and just getting a little rest and relaxation. But what that means is I didn't have time to do a video for the channel, so here we are. This will be kind of a test of not only my mobility in making videos, which could add a cool element to what I'm doing, but also my ability to just work on the fly and work quick. It's March 17th. We'll see how long this video takes to get out. I'm gonna kind of hold myself accountable by saying that. And we're trying out Lav Mic for the first time. Did a little test and it doesn't sound too great. So if I sound good right now, it's because on the back end, I did quite a bit. But anyway, in all my socials, I made a couple posts and a little short saying, ask me anything. So I grabbed a bunch of the questions. I'm gonna get to as many as I can right here in this video. Starting with this one. Where the ball runs at these days. If y'all know me, I do love playing basketball. It's kind of one of my getaways from music. Not a lot of musicians play basketball. I've started to see a little popularity growing the musicians in playing basketball lately, but I play at a Gold's Gym. If you're for real interested, hit me up. But also if you're interested in hooping, shoot me a message. I'd love to come hoop with some of y'all. How many sexual comments did you receive? I mean, a lot. I don't want to say majority, but might have been majority. We got current morning routine before work. My morning routine is getting up and going to get a workout, play basketball. I do lift a little bit. I'm a little out of lifting right now, so this is another hold me to it. I'm gonna be back into lifting. Then I'll come home, I'll make a coffee, kind of chill for a minute. Band shows up and that's when we start. And kind of a second half to that is, if you could eliminate one thing from your daily routine, what would it be and why? I don't have a lot of time for extracurriculars in my schedule and in my daily routine with kids to take care of at night. It would be nice to cut something out, but I honestly don't know what it would be. Wasting time, that's the cliche answer, but it would be nice to waste a little less time. You have to sing karaoke. What song do you pick? I haven't done karaoke in a long time. My go-to was typically like Taking Back Sunday off Where You Want to Be, maybe A Decade Under the Influence. What focal length are you using for your YouTube vids? Main shots look fire. Shout out, thanks. I don't know if anyone watching this cares. I mean, I guess camera community in the musician space is growing a little bit, but in the studio, I'm using my 35mm f1.4. In this video, I'm using my 24-70 at about 55-ish. A little different look here, obviously a whole different scenario entirely, so. Okay, so that was some of the more casual ones. We'll go into a little more music and studio related questions now. I need help making my kicks smack. I feel like the limiter just crushes the soul out of my kick, even if I don't push the gain on the limiter. I don't limit kicks. I don't limit my drum bus or anything, so I don't know if that's giving you problems, but I have a couple videos about kick. I know you know that, but to me, kick's easy. Lift the top end a bunch so you get that click kind of where you want it, and that's kind of malleable depending on the kick and depending on how high or how low you want that to be. And just don't do too much. One EQ and a distressor would be enough for most kicks. What is, in your opinion, the most challenging part of going from hobby mixing and production into a partial or even full-time career? Man, it's really knowing when you have enough clientele to make the jump out of a job and into production. I didn't do a good job of this. I didn't have a mortgage at the time, so it made it jumping and landing a little easier. But I don't know that you're ever ready, but you just kind of do it, and freelancing is always a hustle, and you just gotta get out and hustle. Most recommended mic for a single mic on a guitar cab for heavy tones. I feel like this isn't gonna be a special answer at all, but a SM57. I have two really old Unidyne 3 SM57s that I think are super killer. That's my pick. I have a video also, a ton of different mics on one guitar amp, so you can kind of see the different sounds from mics, but some of the consensus in that video is it all kind of is the same but different. If you have a mic, I really recommend using that mic and messing around with it and trying to make it sound good before you go down the rabbit hole of chasing one mic for everything. That's my advice on that. What is your mastering chain? I probably will get a video on this eventually, but it's not a lot, unless you mean mix chain also with this question. My mastering bus is typically a trim for a fader rides, compressor, my Focusrite Red 3 most of the time, and a limiter, so not a ton. Is there any piece of gear that will undeniably make mixes sound better? I'll probably answer this question differently twice a year for my whole career, because there's always something that you get that's really inspiring, which is kind of the answer. Something that's inspiring to you will undeniably make your mixes sound better. For me right now, Smart C2, I bought that probably within the last year, which ties into another question here. Best purchase you've made for your studio this last year? Smart C2, it's a really cool compressor. Crush mode, I haven't even found a use for yet. That's how new it is to me. I gotta keep trying it, but 0.3 attack, fast release on Mixbus with Smart C2 is just absolutely killer. Undeniably would make my mixes sound better. And when I switch it on and off, it does that for me. How do you know when to say no to a project? If I'm not gonna enjoy the project and I'm not going to enjoy the people in the project, that's a pretty clear indication that I should say no. Even if it's not my style of music or something I would listen to, if I enjoy the people, I can really enjoy making the music. And it can help me like the music. My buddy Joey, Coyote Jets, came and recorded an indie record with me a long time ago, and I was confused as to what the music was because I just didn't understand it. But I love working with Joey, and it's a ton of fun every time. It's really turned me on to that style of music as well. I'm glad I didn't say no to that. I try and keep as open mind as I can, but if I'm gonna be miserable, no, that's a no. Which ties into this also, do you have to like the music you are producing for others for it to be good? I definitely don't have to like the music for someone to think it is good. Does it mean it's good to me? No, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy making it. Is there any popular rule or guideline of mixing a song you disagree with? I fundamentally disagree with there being rules to art. That's always been my stance for the last almost a decade now. I almost get upset, I do get upset when I see people online saying, this is the way you do something. I think it's ignorant, and I think it's a way to stifle creativity, and I think it's horrible verbiage, especially for beginners who don't know any better. I can't tell you how many rules I followed for the first couple of years coming up until I realized no one is setting rules, no one's coming to check my work. Whatever it takes to get to a sound for you, that's all that matters. Is there such thing as doing too much? Yes. How important is room treatment for recording? If you've been to my studio or if you've seen my studio, I do have a fair bit of room treatment, but it's in no way scientific. Stopping reflections that you hear with your ears is a really good starting place. And then from there, everything on top is great. I think the more important part is learning your room and learning how things sound in your room. That to me is bigger than treatment. What monitors are you using and why do you like them over other choices? I use Dynaudio BM5A Mark IIs, which have been described as baby barefoots, which is maybe why I've held on to them so long. I would love to move to barefoots. I'm so used to my monitors and I'm so locked in on the way they sound. I haven't felt the need to spend $4,000+ on monitors. I can get gas with the best of them, but something I'm really proud of, which is not a question on here, but is something I do like to talk about, is I've never gone into debt for music gear. I try and use the means that I have to pay for stuff. I think a lot of young people could hear that advice and know you don't got to go into debt to impress us out here. Yeah, Dynaudios are pretty cool. $700, I bought them. What's your thoughts on analog summing? Ever tried it? If so, do you like it or not worth it? So I had a year period or so, and especially revolved around mixing my band through Arteries album. I was doing summing through my Dangerous D-Box. I think undeniably it makes it sound better, but you get locked into mixing that way. For me, without massive patch bass solutions, I was having to put pieces of gear to the summing mixer in a way that I didn't like and wasn't very flexible. I don't do it right now, but I do think it's worth it. That mystery is for you to solve. Do you use Sonarworks or any room correction at all? This kind of ties in with the room treatment stuff. I have not used Sonarworks, but I know some people who really do like it. It's something I'm interested in, but haven't committed to yet. I think if Sonarworks gave it to me for free, I would definitely try it. I haven't used it yet. Let me know in the comments if you use Sonarworks and if you think it's cool. Maybe it is something I need to invest in. What is something that you feel every song must have? Something that gives the listener a reason to come back to the song. For the longest time, that would be a chorus or a hook for a metal song. Maybe it's not a chorus, something that's repeating. But even if you're not into the repeating stuff, a part that's insanely memorable would be a reason for someone to come back and listen to a song again. What is a common mistake you deal with that artists make when songwriting? To me, one of the biggest ones is demoitis, really getting just stuck to your demo and not being able to take a leap into changing it and making something new, especially when you're working with a team of people. And I'm as guilty of this as just about anyone, so it may be hypocritical for me to say, especially if you're going to go work with a songwriter, do not just be stuck to the demo. Be coachable and be changeable, because when you're working with songwriters, they want your song to be the best it can be. It's teamwork at that point. No one is out here to sabotage you. That doesn't mean give up all your ideas. It's okay to fight for an idea, but I've worked with a lot of people who don't budge on anything. What instruments do you play? Fancy myself a jack of all trades and a ace of none, if you will. I play guitar and I sing. I've been singing since I was in middle school. I try and play everything a little, but drums really ain't it for me. The feet and the hands, man, I could never put them together. If I had to say I play an instrument, it's singing and it's guitar. How do you generally approach reverb on vocals? And what do your vocal sends sound like? What do you always set it up for in mix prep? I'm not always a vocal sends guy for reverb. Something I do a lot lately is having one main reverb that I send most stuff to, but I really like the flexibility of doing reverbs as inserts on tracks to have a lot of different sounds in songs instead of having a ton of reverb sends. Yeah, my general approach on reverb is I don't really have a general approach for the most part. And with screaming, I don't use reverb on screams at points. Dry vocal is a really cool sound. I think it's especially in right now. Yeah, no general approach really. I don't have a reverb sound that I like import into every session. Maybe an album has the same reverb for all the songs, especially like a one main reverb, but I'll probably tweak it between songs anyway. Why isn't my mix fat? Yo, man, I can't do it all for you. www.coreybrunneman.com. Hit my website, send it to me, I'll make it fat. All right, and last question here, the most important of all. What's your favorite barbecue sauce? I'm not even sure I could name a barbecue sauce where I think it's my favorite. I'm more into hot sauces. I can tell you my favorite hot sauce right now is Lucky Bird habanero hot sauce. Man, that's real good. Thanks guys for all the questions you sent in. I got to as many as I could. Hopefully I got to yours. As always, if you have comments or if you got more questions, leave them down in the comments. I'm always in the comments replying to everyone. Hopefully next week I'll be back with a in-studio video. If you hit subscribe, you'll be notified when that video comes out and when future videos come out. A couple videos I have upcoming, I don't want to say too much because I like them to be a little bit of a surprise, but one of my more popular videos was all of the guitar mics on one cab. I have something else similar to that coming out, and I'm bringing out some drum-focused videos with the drummer of my band, Caton. We shot a few, and I'm editing and getting them prepped with something for you guys. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video back in Texas. See y'all.